Hello and welcome to Winning Skills. This is Chandra Ganguly. I'm a PoSH expert and trainer. And today we have a very interesting guest with us, Mr. Joyce Dubhomik.
Thank you.
He is an expert in PoSH and has a huge body of experience. He represents SQL
Management
Services Private Limited, and he is a PoSH expert. He has been giving out trainings on the safety of women from sexual harassment at the workplace. And today we will be speaking about PoSH, about the IC, the Internal Complaints Committee, or the Internal Committee as we know it today. We will also talk about the safety of women at the workplace, what exactly is sexual harassment, and how can we keep all harassments at bay. In the event some unfortunate harassment takes place, what are the ways and means of dealing with the same?
Yes.
So, why won't I would request you to introduce yourself, and then we can proceed on this.
Hello and good evening to everyone. So this is Joyce Dubhomik. I am a lawyer presently working with SQL Management Services Private Limited for the past 8 years. So yes, I have some experience in PoSH in terms of conducting trainings, and also I had the opportunity to participate in PoSH inquiries, conduct PoSH inquiries. Thank you. So basically, if you look at the Act, it has three major components. One is the prohibition, the second being prevention, and the third being redressal. Prohibition is to have a mechanism in your organization to prohibit any kind of sexual harassment. Now, first we'll have to understand what is sexual harassment. When we talk about sexual harassment, the first thing that comes in our mind is some kind of physicality. Some kind of physicality is involved. But the Act has a much wider ambit. It is not restricted to only physicality. It includes any kind of harassment. So, excuse me. So there is this, what do you say? It says like, it is not the intention of the man, but the perception of the woman. How a woman is perceiving a certain act.
So, adding on to what you're trying to say, Mr. Bhomik, what I understand it is not the intent of the person, but it's the impact.
It is the impact. How you are, at times we don't wake up to fall in trouble. But at times it is just a behavioral issue. It's like, men will always be men. This behavior which needs to be changed. If you have this behavior inbuilt in you, then you will fall in some trouble. What happens is, at times we don't understand that we are sexually or sexually or mentally harassing someone. We think that this is very normal. I'll give an example. So back in 2019 when COVID had come, so the corporates thought that the cases would come down, but surprisingly the cases shot up. The number of PoSH cases shot up. Why? Well, if you look at the definition of workplace, what does workplace say under this Act? It is not the four walls of your organization. Just not the four walls of your organization. That once you enter the gate of the organization, PoSH applies to you, and once you step out, it will not apply to you. It is not that. It is any place. It may be your bedroom, it may be your studio, it may be a cafe, it may be a vehicle. Any place from where you are connecting with your colleague during the working hours, or maybe at times beyond the working hours, but work related, the PoSH Act applies to you.
So are we trying to say that, of course, pre-COVID, there must have been a lot of instances of sexual harassment. Now,
at organizations, because people were coming to the offices, working, like there was a, socialization. Socialization was happening.
Right.
During COVID, the entire thing was work from home. It was...
So in a work from home environment where individuals are actually working from the comfort of their home, even if I, rule the word comfort out. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that within the confines of their home,
I'll give you an example. So there was this meeting happening over Teams, and for some office mandate, the videos had to be put on. So there was this mandate that they had to put on their videos. So one of the guys, he was attending the meeting in his vest. So the women folks, they found it very offensive. Now, see, this was the intention of the man was not to harass these women. His alibi was, I am working from my comfort zone. I'm like what you said, my home. I am sitting in my bedroom and I'm doing my work. I'm not saying anything which is sexual over the call. I'm not doing anything. I'm not making any sexual
Sexually colored remarks.
remark, gesticulation, nothing. I'm just wearing something which I'm comfortable in. I'm not at office. But you have to understand one thing. What I said, it is not your intention, what you are intending. It is the perception of the woman or the women who were there.
So when we talk about sexual harassment, are we talking about two things at the same time? One is to apprise and make the men aware as to how they need to conduct themselves.
Absolutely.
And also help the woman understand and identify what amounts to sexual harassment.
Both, absolutely. See, when if I am working from my office, I'm not expected to wear my vest or something which looks a little uncouth, right? I'm supposed to wear proper formals, proper clothes. We are not asking you to wear the best of your shirts, put on the best of your attire, but at least wear something which is decent, which will under no circumstance be construed as sexually offensive. Now, of course, there are women sitting, there's a meeting going on, and you are attending that meeting in a vest is offensive.
Okay, now I'll slightly switch over from what you said.
Aha.
How does a woman identify what is sexual harassment? Because from my experience that I've seen a lot of women, sometimes they tend to ignore. I would say we tend to ignore advances made by people or maybe sexually colored jokes, and it could be considered as something which is normal, because what happens is in an office environment, because of the online message facilities that people have, and a lot of interaction happens on phone, there are a lot of jokes which are shared, circulated, a lot of humor, but it could be slightly sexually colored humor. Now, sometimes from what I have seen, women tend to ignore that, or they tend to just give it a pass, and sometimes men also share these jokes within each other. Amongst each other. I'm sorry, without the intention of causing any harassment to the woman. But then, how is a woman supposed to identify what is sexual and what is not sexual, but is just another joke,
As
or
I
just
started,
another gesture?
sexual harassment is not only about physical harassment. So, when you're saying that, how do I differentiate that what is sexual and what is non-sexual? So, if someone is cracking a sexually colored remark, is passing a sexually colored remark or cracking a sexually colored joke, that is sexual in nature. Now, if women of the organization, they're ignoring that, they're inviting troubles for themselves.
Okay.
So I would always say that if that's happening, no, I'm not saying that if that's happening for once, you go ahead and file a complaint with the IC committee. You don't need to do that. But at least make very clear that I am not okay with it. And if you repeat, then I am going to file a complaint. And if it is not stopped, or at least go and speak to the manager, the HR, that this is what is happening. So, even if it is not a formal complaint, but I'm raising my voice against it. Please ensure that our company follows a zero tolerance policy.
So clearly, what you're trying to say,
Even over WhatsApp. So, during COVID, so there have been many WhatsApp groups been created by these organizations. So I still remember one incident where one of the guys on a Sunday morning had shared a sexually colored joke over WhatsApp, and immediately the women folks, of the group, they exited, and the next day they filed a complaint against him. Now again, his alibi was it was a Sunday, it was not work. I did not do it for any. I had no sexual intention. It was just done out of fun. But then you have to know what is fun and what is not.
So that one has to draw a line and very clearly understand.
Of course.
So I think what we conclude from today's discussion is that awareness is key. First and foremost, we need to be aware. We need to make people aware in an organization. men and women alike as to what is sexual harassment, what situations can qualify to become, harassment cases, and what are the steps that one should take.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you face any kind of harassment, the first thing that you need to do is go and file a complaint with the IC committee. So you can speak to your manager, you can speak to the HR, preferably a lady with whom you can discuss the entire incident, or if it's been a series of incidents, then the entire series of incidents in detail. But remember one thing, that the entire thing needs to be documented. Verbal complaint is not entertained.
So it has to be documented.
Yes,
by
and
the aggrieved party.
yes. So presently there's a timeline of 3 months, but there is a proposed amendment which is, but it's not yet. It is yet to be legislated. So once it is legislated, I can put more focus on it. This timeline will not be there. So, because it also depends. So there have been cases where this 3 months, 90 days timeline has not been adhered to. So the court basically looks at the mental condition of the woman, how it had gone with her, what stopped her from coming forward or filing the complaint within the stipulated timeline. So the court will look into all these things.
All right.
Yeah, these are the. So it is not that 90 days is very strictly 90 days. But yes, you have to come up with a reason so why you could not file a complaint within 90 days. Because one thing we'll have to remember that along with sexual harassment cases, there has been many false complaints.
Okay, so
which is
that's
also
a very interesting plan.
which is also, and there's one section under this act, that is section 14, which says that if you file a false complaint and if it's proven that it's been false, then you will face the same consequences had the complaint been a true one.
All
So
right.
that's it.
So taking more from that, I think we will conclude today's session. This is purely about awareness around sexual harassment. But then the next one, I think, should be about what are the cases where sexual harassment cases are identified and need to be reported. What are the instances where cases are falsely getting reported and what are the repercussions for that?
And along with that also, what are, like you asked me, what are sexual harassment cases? Like a manager
Yes.
reprimanding someone for not completing her work is
Yes.
not sexual harassment.
Certainly. So we will discuss
We'll discuss that in the
next
next
one.
one.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Bhowmick.
Thank you.